Chu Qiao, seeing that he remained silent, panted for a while before she pushed him and chided, "Hey, go back to your own room. I can't sleep when the bed is so small." The bed was small? It could fit 4 people and still have space. Yu pretended not to hear what she said as he closed his eyes and continued to sleep. "Hey, go back to your own room. What's with you staying here?" As she saw that Yu refused to move, she sat up angrily, grabbed her own clothes and prepared to leave. As she climbed over his body, he pulled her back, causing her to land on his chest. Some sparks burned in his eyes as he looked at her coldly. "I see that you're still jumping and kicking about. Don't you want to sleep?" "No. There's no such thing." Even Xiao Qingrong knew how to react to the situation earlier on. Chu Qiao, being able to think more rationally, know that she had thrown herself into a dead end. As expected, she snuggled back into her original position, with her back facing Yu. She remained silent and breathed steadily, as if she had really fallen asleep. Darkness was everywhere. The rain seemed to get heavier, as it splattered onto the deck of the boat, making crisp sounds. A hand suddenly grabbed her waist from behind. The man's breath caressed her ear gently, causing goosebumps to form on her neck. He embraced her as he kissed her earlobe gently while saying in a low voice, "Xinger, I want to hold you like this every night in the futuro. Don't keep chasing me away." Her heart instantly melted. It was hard to imagine that a person like this would speak to her in such a manner. She felt a little sad as she reached out her hand to hold his hand. She'll hold it up to her lips and kissed it. The night was still long. Just like this, she drifted off to sleep in his embrace. In her dreams, she seemingly saw the clear sky, clear waters, the green grasslands, and a group of kids wearing clear white outfits as they danced and sang in the middle of nowhere. She knew that she was bound to wake up late the next day. She was eventually woken up to loud knocks on her door. She opened her eyes in a panicked state and saw Yu fully dressed, standing in front of the window, holding a pale bluish-white dress in his hand. He laughed as he said, "Misang Kante," calling a few times. "If you still don't got up, she's going to barge in." Chu Qiao put on her clothes in a fearful state. She crept to the door and opened up a slight gap. She popped her head out and said in a silly manner, "Hur, Mashang, good morning. Miss, it's noon already. We will reach land in a short while." Meidang chided as she stood by the door, putting her hands on her hips. Jingjing was carrying Xiao's son as she looked towards Chu Qiao's room, full of interest. Ranjir reached out his chubby hand and pinched Jingjing's checks as he broke out in another fit of gibberish. "WH? Is it?" Chu Qiao continued, "Oh yeah, I've been too tired lately. How did Tover sleep?" "That's weird." "Haha, yes, that's indeed weird." Jingjing chuckled mischievously as she stood by the side. "Miss, what are you standing here for?" "I fetched a bucket of water. Are you not going to wash up?" Chu Qiao picked up the bucket of water on the ground and proclaimed loudly, "I'll do it myself." Medong frowned and asked, "Miss, what's come into you?" "I'm alright. It's just that I think you're too tired. Go and rest for a while." Melong responsibly said, "I still have to pack up your room for you." "There is no need. I am feeling rather good today, so I will pack it up myself." Chu Qiao did not wait for Melong to make any response before taking the water and heading back to the room, following which she leaned her ear on the door. Only after Meixiang and Jingjing had left did Chu Qiao finally heave a sigh of relief when he leaned on the bed and casually stated, "Look at you like you just stole something." Chu Qiao stared at him. Walking over, she pulled on his arm. "Well, there is no one here. Quickly head back to your own room." "I don't want to," Yu crisply refused. "Only if you wash my face for me." Chu Qiao was confused as she asked, "Why?" "If you do not do it, I will not head back." You are such a..." Chu Qiao was in a dilemma for a long time before finally walking to the basin and preparing the towel to help wash his face. She rolled up her sleeves, Her posture did not look like she was not trying to wash someone's face, but more like she was going to start a fight. Squatting before him, she rubbed on his face with all her strength. He frowned very slightly but did not say anything while keeping up his smile. Chu Qiao suddenly felt bad and started to gently wipe down his face after sighing as the sun peeped through the open window. It shone on the duo. Time seemed to have gone back over 10 years, as she needed to wake up very early each morning to help him wash up, wear clothes and eat breakfast. See, even after spending so much energy, in the end, I am still doing what I was doing at the beginning. Chu Qiao pouted as she hung her head, defeated. Yu smiled and replied, "It is merely that justice has long arms. You are born to be Nino. No matter how you try to escape, you will not be able to." Chu Qiao gave him a glare and chided, "What kind of rubbish analogy is that?" After he brushed his teeth and washed up, and tidied up his appearance, Chu Qiao pushed him off to the door, and brushed him, quickly, leave her. Yu turned around and stared at her. "What kind of woman are you? Even couples who were merely married one day will remember each other forever. Yet you change your attitude so quickly. Leave. Leave. Go back to your own room, young master." A crisp and joyous voice sounded, causing Chu Qiao to be utterly stunned. She turned around only to see Yu Qi standing outside the window. Seeing her, Yu Qi happily greeted her. "I had gone to young master's room this morning, but seeing that he was not around, I guessed that he had spent the night with you, miss." Pingon stood behind Yu Qi, and behind him, there seemed to be many people. As they were far away, one could not make out what they were talking about. Suddenly, one could vaguely hear a cheeky cheer from afar. "Sister has finally married. I will not need to hear her rambling anymore." At that instant, the door opened with a creak. Moi Xiang walked in with Jingjing and some other servants. Seeing Yu, they greeted him respectfully, before heading to Chu Qiao's bed. Wanting to tidy things, Chu Qiao suddenly remembered how there were still bloodstains on the bed. Just as she was about to prevent them from cleaning up, Jingjing walked up with a bowl of soup, and whispered in Chu Qiao's car, "Sister Medong specially instructed this herbal soup to be brewed. It is good for replenishing any blood loss. Sister, please drink up." Chu Qiao's eyes were spewing black as her cheeks turned crimson red. Yu walked up and picked up that bowl. Passing it to Chu Qiao, he smiled, "This is indeed good for you. Xinger, drink up." On the same day, the boat stopped by at Landing Province for food supplies before continuing on the journey. 2 days later, they finally arrived at Hu Province. The group landed. Although they had arrived within the Wei territory, it was clear that Yu's bodyguards seemed to tense up even more. Just as they reached the port, there was a team of 500 soldiers waiting for their arrival, and all females accompanying the entourage were disguised as men as they mixed in with the group. The entire situation was rather secretive. Seeing how most of the soldiers had some form of a tattoo on their face, she realized that they were all from Qinghai, and she suddenly felt at reaching the Baolan province. There were 3,000 Qinghai soldiers guarding it there, amongst which there were 1,000 of them wearing green leather armor. They exude overwhelming bloodlust and killing aura. One could instantly tell that they were masters of martial arts. Yu Qi proudly informed her that those were all his subordinates, and were from the elite 7th Division from back in Qinghai. This was merely a small detachment, as the remaining were all guarding at Qusai Pass and in Xinhuang City. After resting in Baolan Province for 1 day, they began the journey to Xinhuang on the next day. At dusk, they finally saw that majestic castle.